Good evening, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the reverse aging call for Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, March 19th, 2021. By now, a lot more and more people are, been on the IHERQLES protocol for a bit and are experiencing all kinds of shifts and changes in their bodies. And as I've said so many times, I think all of you know this, is that the body is, every one of us have, we have a different, generically speaking, we have the same genome, but we have a different, body structure, chemistry, in different ways, just little shifts here and there. So what someone experiences in one body may not experience it in the other body, but there is one commonality, is that the IHERQLES, reverse aging properties, you cannot not experience positive results with the biological aging of the body. You cannot. It's not possible to not experience anything and to take it and just not experience anything. Now, a lot of us have this tendency to think that, well, if I don't feel it, or if I don't, if I'm not, emotionally or physically experiencing something, that it's not working. And that's just not true at all. It's the opposite. The body, when you are not experiencing really anything, okay, you can take it, and you just, it's because the body accepts it a lot more readily. When the body starts responding in different ways, you can get headaches, you can get some pains, you can get all kinds of things. But you understand something. If you were to look at, if you looked at the body, you took the skin off, okay, and you took the muscle tissue, and all you had was the arteries, the vascular system of the body. And there are pictures that you can get, 3D pictures, animations of this, to give you a better understanding of what this microcirculation is all about. So we have carrier conduits throughout the body, and some of them are just absolutely hair fine. They're just really hair fine, but they're obviously tubular, and they carry our blood. And the blood is absolutely paramount because it oxygenates the body, the tissue, everything. So as the body biologically ages, just like in anything, we start to experience, and it's not like you're going to know it. Most of the time, you're just not going to know it. The body's not going to, hey, Harry, we got an issue over here, because it's so finite. But yet, the microcirculation is imperative. Healthy microcirculation is imperative for our bodies. But what happens is that in a lot of cases, the microcirculation is interrupted in some areas in these real fine vascular pathways. And so the blood doesn't get there. Now, you may not notice it for years. It takes years and years. Look how long it took you to age the body. So as that progresses in certain areas, some more than others, but you'll notice things. You'll notice more fatigue, and it might be subtle at first. Then notice joint issues and muscle issues and memory issues. Because understand, the brain is absolutely dilated with blood vessels. They run through every aspect of the brain. And so the blood is a messenger. The blood carries all the information of the body, all of it. And so that's why when we leave the body, the blood coagulates and shuts down, because there's no more information to send. But the soul sends the information throughout the body. Okay? So the body's an information highway of just absolutely miles and miles and miles of vascular arteries that literally branch out everywhere. We have to feed with oxygen and nutrients all parts of the body. And our blood system is what does that. So it's like when you consume something, it goes into the stomach, and then the acids go to work and break it down, and it gets rid of the stuff that it doesn't need, which goes out in solids, out into the stool, and then liquids out into the stool. So as things, as our systems work, the bloodstream carries the nutrients to the various parts of the body. You know, that's how we keep our arteries strong and flexible and resilient, and the blood flowing unobstructed, and you know, all of the parts of the body are healthy as long as we have a very healthy blood flow. But and this isn't talked about a lot, but with IHERQLES, you're looking at blood flow at a micro, a real, almost atomic level. And people say, well, that didn't seem like that would be so important as the larger arteries that carry, like the carotid artery and the thrombotic, you know, the center artery that goes through the center of the body, which carries a lot of blood flow, then branches out into different parts of the body. So when you increase microcirculation, so what happens? Well, you're increasing microcirculation, and you're also reversing the degradation of the telomeres in your body. Telomeres were discovered, as I'm sure some of you already know, or you'll find out, they were discovered about 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 or so. And a group of scientists did some research on extracts, plant extracts, and they discovered, because they were looking for a way to reverse the biological aging of the body. And they were looking for a way to do it without chemicals, without man-made chemicals. So they then discovered that there was a certain strain of astragalus plants. And I remember I emphasized a certain strain of astragalus plants. And they were able to zero in on a specific part of the root system of this plant. And there's only 2 roots in the root system that had the properties that, when they tested, reversed the aging of the telomeres. And so when they reversed the aging, they found that the body got healthier, stronger, able to assimilate much better. Also, the organs, all of the properties in the body that may have not been anywhere near as effective because of aging, started coming back. Okay, stamina and energy are key measuring forms for you to know how healthy your body is. If you're tired a lot, and this is your body communicating with you, if you're tired a lot, lethargic a lot, and you just kind of feel draggy, and it's not because you've done a lot, okay? It's just a certain point during the course of the day where you just drop off, okay? And it wouldn't have anything to do with your pancreas, because everything starts with the pancreas in our bodies. But you begin to understand that, okay, so something, my body's not right, it's out of balance. It's not getting something that it needs. But when you start with IHERQLES, some people begin to experience within a couple of days. Now, some of it might be psychosomatic, but not all of it can be. So some people are more in tune with their bodies more minutely than others. And it doesn't mean that they're consciously aware of it. Some are, some aren't. But what happens with this is that you start to notice it. The body says, hey, I really appreciate this, because you are literally reversing the biological age of your body. You can have a body that looks 25, but the insides are 90. I kid you not. Have you ever seen people, I'm sure you guys have come across people that, wow, how old are you? And they say, oh, I'm, and they have a lot of illnesses and stuff internally. So you cannot, the old adage is, you cannot judge a book by its cover. and the old saying. So what happens? What is it? How long did it take you to get the body in the position that it's in today? You ask yourself that. Then you say that we have an avenue here of a formula that, and as I was talking about the astragalus, they zeroed in on two strands of the astragalus plant, one particular strain of astragalus that was grown in China. So to make a long story short, there was a grouping of some male and female scientists, and they discovered it. Okay, it had not been known before, and so what happened is that they formulated this into a powder, and the old. They've got the gel caps, and you put the powder in them, and then you ingest them. Now, understand what that does. Now, it reverses the aging of the telomeres, and it affects the mitochondria, and it affects the cell health of the body. So it's not just the telomeres. When it does this with the telomeres, it affects the health of the cells, the cellular structure of the body. It cannot not. They're all synergistically aligned with each other. They're all together. They all work in harmony. So when you understand this, and they formulated this, so they had like 1,500 people. This was quite a while ago, okay? And understand it has nothing to do with our formula other than the origin, the research, okay, on that particular formula. And I'll bring this together. So 1,500 people as guinea pigs, test subjects, started taking it. And what happened is that they followed the results. Everybody had a blood test, telomere blood test, to show the age of their blood. Okay, so you can't have an old body with young blood running through it. And I don't mean old in age. I don't mean how do I put that? You don't. If you have an old, decrepit body, you're not going to have young blood. You're just not. All right. The blood might be older than the body. So people started taking it, and it was a 4-month protocol, which means you take it for 4 months, and you take it in certain doses. And so the results were absolutely astronomical. That's why one of the team won the Nobel Prize for the research discovery of reverse aging. So then they hit the gold mine, the goose that laid the golden egg, the fountain of youth, so to speak. So some people, 70, 75, in 4 months, reverse the biological aging by 20, 25, 30, 35 years. Okay? And that's absolutely amazing. So, but it was so expensive at that time that not a lot of people could access it. They couldn't buy it. They couldn't afford it. Thousands of dollars a month. So that's why it didn't get out much to the public on a mass scale, okay? It only got to the people that had the money. And isn't that, that's the way the old world has been, and it's going to change. Every one of us deserve the best of everything. So that happened, and we have that information, the testimonials, in the back office when you sign up as an activist with IHERQLES, Liquid Gold. Liquid Gold RX is the company. We have 2 products. People have gotten confused about this. We have the Liquid Gold, which is our first product, and the Liquid Gold is absolutely tremendously impactful on the well-being of the body because of the fact that it thins the blood naturally. Thinner the blood, healthier the body. Okay? You don't have to take synthetics to thin the blood like Coumadin and the others, okay? Which then you have to worry about if you stop them, then you have blood clots. It doesn't happen with natural applications. You don't have to worry about that. So And it's a regenerator nutritional base formula, which basically feeds the tissue of the body in a very deep and dense way so that the body can absorb and assimilate it, because of the fact that we don't have that in our food today. We don't have it. You can eat organic food and everything. You get some nutritional value, but our soils have been stripped so bad on this planet for so many years that it's very hard for the soils, unless you keep adding stuff, to even get the soil healthy enough to produce any kind of food. So with the with the gold, liquid gold, I'll give you an example. We had one gal, I'm not sure of the age, I think she was in her 70s, but she had gone into her doctor and she was going to have heart test, arteries, and see what her condition was of heart. She was experiencing certain things. And so the doctor told her, he said, you've got, major blockage in your arteries. About 99% blocked. So we got to do some procedures. And she says, no, I'm going to wait. So she went on the liquid gold at the time, and I think she was on it 8-9 weeks, and then she came back into the doctor. And the doctor ran the test, and the doctor became very, kind of dismayed at the fact that her arteries were clear. And that's what the liquid gold did for her. Okay? Will that do that for everybody? It depends on your body, and it depends on the condition of your body. So that's the liquid gold formula. Now, the IHERQLES has the liquid gold formula, so you get a double punch. The IHERQLES has a much more advanced formula based on the original, but the only one of its kind, with the combination of the liquid gold product and the IHERQLES product combined. So you're getting an overall body regeneration, rejuvenation, reverse aging, from the mitochondria to the cells to the telomeres, all of it. And it's it's much more advanced than the original formula. Number one, you spray it in the mouth, okay? And this formula is it's not a duplicate. There's no one out there with it, okay? It's proprietary. It's not going to be copied. We've had people say, and this is pretty normal. They go, I can save money with this. I can make this myself, okay? I could buy these extracts, but here's the problem. All formulations are coded, so they cannot be specifically duplicated. Now, over-the-counter stuff, like the low-end astragalus from different variety of plants that really don't have the impact that this root system had, yeah, it does maybe a minuscule effect on the body, but not major. And people buy it. They sell it over the counter and everything, supplement stores, health food stores, and stuff like that. But you can't duplicate this. You just can't, okay? And I'm sure people out there have tried to do it already. But when you formulate something as impactful as this is on the civilization of this planet, you're not going to duplicate it in your kitchen or a makeshift lab, And I had someone tell me, well, they duplicated the Colonel Sanders chicken recipe. Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. This isn't the Colonel Sanders chicken recipe, the coding, period. So now the affordability of this is a highly impactful, a highly effective formula for the reverse aging of your body, the biological reverse aging. And it starts right from the very cellular structure of the body, the mitochondria, the telomeres, the cells, and you could end up having the blood of a 20-year-old. And I know some people that were on the old formula that were on it for 8, 9, 10 years, believe it or not, and they have the blood of a 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 15-year-old. Now, that wasn't taken IHERQLES, it was the old formula. So I'm trying to tell you that the IHERQLES, we have no idea how advanced people's bodies will become health-wise with biological reverse aging with this, because it's only been out So we only announced it December 8th of last year. People didn't start using it till the end of December. Some got it, lucky enough, got it in January. But the majority of people just have only been on it for maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months. Few. So, people are experiencing things all across the board. And this is the real deal. It's not something that was whipped up all of a sudden. It took a lot of research and effort to formulate this liquid. That's why our first product is called Liquid Gold. That's why. That's why the name of the company is Liquid Gold RX. That's how precious it is. And to make it affordable for the majority of the population of the planet. $79 wholesale. Without shipping. Shipping is like $90, $91 a month for one bottle. And I know people that have spent over $100,000 a month for reverse aging. Okay? So you've got to get an understanding perspective on how fortunate we are that it was formulated and developed and in this context for the civilization of the planet. Because we got to keep as many people in the body as we possibly can, and also their quality of life. So we've got to be able to have something, and the universe, I believe, delivered this out of the clear blue. Okay? So when you begin to realize what you have in your possession and how affordable it is, I mean, there's people that are buying it so other people can use it because of the fact that they don't have a penny. This is about saving lives. This is why we're doing it. It's about saving lives. And obviously, we have to get it, we're compelled to get it in as many hands across the planet as we can. How can and we're only in the United States right now. So it's not like everybody around the planet can become active in the process, that legally. So, some of us, like my assistant, working almost around the clock to accommodate international people all over the planet, everywhere, Asia, and we're doing that a certain way so that people can get the product, so they can use it. We've got, people in Switzerland, Portugal, Spain, Germany, Asia, everywhere that have we've finally been able to get it shipped to them and them start to use it. So guys, we're only just scratching the surface with this. This is so new. You introduce it to people, and here's something that you begin to realize is that, we have pessimists out there. It's part of society. And they're the ones that will always try to find fault with everything. And so some people have gotten the telomere test. Now, so it's really funny because some of the labs don't do it anymore, okay? And some private doctors will do it. You just say, I need an age blood test. I want to find out the age of my blood. Okay. And so they'll do the test. It's a simple test. It's not a big deal. And so you get the test before you start. And it doesn't matter if you get it before or during. But you get the test, and this will literally close the mouths of the pessimists. For the ones that are waiting on the side of the road, sitting in their benches, kind of watching everybody get younger. And I'm going to see how it works with you before I try it. You see? And so what happens is that the people that say, hey, look, if this is going to help my body be younger, healthier, and happier, and it does it in a natural application, organic, clean and pure formulation, I'm going to get it as quickly as I possibly can. And because it's so affordable, I'm not going to break the bank in getting it, okay? And I don't know how you can put a price on the well-being of your body. There's no price. And see, that's why the allopathic industry has ripped off so many people through the years, charged them exorbitant amounts of money for everything across the sun. just because of greed and how the old world on this planet operated. So when you begin to realize something is that, so you want to stay in the body longer, and do you want to have a healthier body than you do now? These are questions you ask yourself. So the pessimist will look at the chart saying, well, this is where I was with my biological age, okay? And this is where I am. Now, the documents don't lie, okay? And period. Another thing is just experience of viewing others or interacting with others that are absolutely doing something. Now, people don't know what they're doing, but they sure as heck would like to find out. Some of them have enough courage to just come up and say, what is it? What are you doing? You seem to have gained a lot more energy. You've got a lot more sparkle in your eye. Your gait is a lot different. What are you doing? I'm on a reverse aging protocol with a natural organic formula that was researched several years ago, and I was able to get a hold of a formula that far surpasses the original one, and I'm reversing the biological age of my body, period. And it's a matter of fact. You know what's interesting? When you have a positive confidence, and I'm not talking ego mind here, I'm talking about through the heart, and you just know it because you're experiencing it. So when you deliver that to somebody, they're not going to go, oh, you didn't sound like you're too sure about that. Well, I got this stuff. You know, I got this stuff. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's supposed to reverse your age. That's a different one, okay? The first one is the one that they're just going to go. They'll feel the frequency in your voice and your attitude. They'll know you are truthful, period, because they know you're experiencing and they're seeing it take effect with your body. And when you share with people that there's no way possible that this cannot not improve the well-being of your body. There's no way. It's been proven over and over again. And we've got the most advanced formula ever on the planet for it. So when you start to realize this, and people aren't taking it right now, we've got a few thousand people taking it right now, and they're experiencing things. And all of the people that are their age factor, their bodies, okay? You know, people in their 70s and 80s and 90s and 60s and 50s, even 40s, that would love to have an avenue that they can afford to start reversing the biological age of their body, naturally and organically. See, no synthetics or anything, because the originals, they thought that once they discovered this property in this root system, they thought that they could synthesize it. Now, some of you may know what that means, but what a lot of these places do when they make a discovery, okay, they figure that it's a lot cheaper to synthesize, which duplicates it, synthetically, okay? So they duplicate the formula that's organic and synthetically try to duplicate it so that they could lower their costs and make more profit. Well, guess what? The way the universe works, they couldn't synthesize this. They tried, but it came out that it was more expensive to synthesize it than it was to use it organically and naturally, okay, from the mother, from the earth, through the root system. So then, because that's why the IHERQLES is absolutely organic, period. Absolutely organic. And it is unmatched. You cannot match it. There's nothing out there that's going to match it because of the two formulas that are involved here. And that's a fact. Some people might try to duplicate something and say, well, ours is bigger and better, like you always experience. But, you know, we're the only ones on the block. And people are starting to wake up and understand that they've got to get this stuff because it's about the body. We all know that there comes a certain point that the body begins to deteriorate at such an accelerated rate that you almost every day you start experiencing things that you don't care to experience. And that's why a lot of us will end up, if we make it that far in the body, that's why we end up in nursing homes and in those facilities, because we lose the ability to mobily move ourselves, because we lose most of our muscle mass. By the time we're 70, guys, we've lost 70% of our muscle mass. So what does that do? The muscles hold everything together. They support the muscles, our back and everything, our core. And so what happens? You lose confidence, because then you start worrying, well, if I fall, I'll break a hip, and then I got to go through all this stuff. I know my mother broke a hip. I went through the whole thing with her. I know how exasperating it is. I went through the whole thing when my mother lost her independence, when she couldn't drive anymore. And she was a really motivated person to stay alive in the body. So she made it to almost 93. But at the end of her life, the quality of her life was just not that good, as they dumped all the chemicals on her over and over again. And as soon as they get you in their little clutches, that's all she wrote. And I fought it all the way. So I know how it works. I know what happens. I've actually watched it with a loved one. And it's not fun for anybody. Okay? Slowly but surely, we are born babies. And it's funny, isn't it, how the body ages to the point we make it that far, we're almost infancy again, because of the breakdown of the body, and we just can't, you can't walk right, you can't do this right, you can't do that right. So imagine being able to eliminate that so that you can get muscle mass, you can get stronger bones. When you reverse the aging of the telomeres, it affects everything in your body. It's the aging element. The oldest cell in our body is only 7 years old, guys. Only 7 years old. So that's how they discovered the fact that why are we aging? All right? It's because the telomeres, they get shorter and shorter and shorter, and the age accelerates, and eventually you're out of the body. So when you have these thought processes, because every day something happens and we get fearful, oh, what's that? I've never had that before. You have a solution to the problem, right? Now, obviously, it's not going to regenerate limbs. It's not going to grow back your arms and legs, and it's not going to, grow in organs that were taken out and that type of thing. But it will absolutely reverse the biological aging of your body. That's it. That's what it does. And and I'm trying to get as many people as possible to use it. If they want to use it first so they can experience things and they can share it with others. That's fine. That's what I did. Okay? And I didn't have to wait. See, I've guinea pigged myself, and I'm sure some of you have too, for years. I was always wanting to step up. Step right up. Do you want to try this on a test subject? Yeah, I'll try it. Tell me about it. And I said, well, and they go through and they orient us and everything, and I'd go through the test panel. We'd be test subjects. I was test subjects on all kinds of stuff. And it gave us an opportunity to use it and determine if it was crap or it was good. Okay? There's been a lot of tests run with people on different applications that failed miserably, and you never heard about them again. All right? But this one, when they first did it, was absolutely astronomical. They were blown away on the results. All right? Because of it, we've got the youngest Vietnam veteran on the planet. So, you're 80 years old, you'd like to reverse your biological aging. IHERQLES. You want to make it a household name so that people will automatically know, oh dear, if you want to reverse your biological aging, I have something here, I've used it, and I'm using it, and it's wonderful. Oh, so that's what you've been doing all this time. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that, but I just never came around to asking you. I didn't think it was my business. And so, no, that's what I've been doing. I share it with you. And, word of mouth is the only way we're going to get this across the planet. Some of you are using it right now, and you know what I'm talking about. Now, here's the kicker. Pets, animals. You know these rescue centers, guys? They're all over the world. I talk with people all over the world that have these, where animals are abused, horses, all kinds of animals, all right? Injured animals out in the wild. And they take them in and they try to help them and everything the best they can. The animals they're accelerated, their systems. So their results with IHERQLES is 5 times faster than ours. So people with pets use it, and they can watch what, in a lot of ways, is going to happen with them by viewing what happens with their pets. We have people with 15-year-old pets. They're spraying it on their food. Some of them spray it in their mouth. And they're witnessing that these older dogs and cats are acting like they're young again. And guess what? They are. So, you begin for yourself, okay? And you don't sell this stuff. You don't sell it. You show it. You're showing it to other people. And guess what? You're the show. You're the show.